Hello YouTube, it's William here with GoProNoppers Trains, and today, first of all, please pardon the mess behind me. I'm still working on repairing that damaged roof from the Crescent Limited car, but anyways, today I am doing a review of RSO Atest's, IHC Mehano's Southern Pacific Daylight 462 Pacific steam locomotive. Now, I'm not really going to beat around the bush much here, I just want to jump straight into the review. So to start it off, I'd like to talk about the prototype. As far as I know, this is not prototypical, it's just a repaint of their standard tooling. I also have a Pennsylvania 462 Pacific, however that one is custom lettered and painted, so I won't be including that one. However, it does have slightly better running qualities than this. This review isn't going to be the perfect demonstration of condition and running quality, simply because this one doesn't run very well, and the reason for that is I bought it broken, non-running for parts or repair, and I did repair it, but it will never have the same running qualities it would as if I had bought it new. So this one won't be a perfect representation of running quality, but I just want to talk about the locomotive, show it to you, and give you my thoughts on it. That said, let's jump into it. So, in terms of detail, there's not much. For what there is, it's cast in. We don't have much rivet detailing, just some cast-in pipes and valves along the side. We don't really have safety tread on the walkways, just on the front. Other than that, there really isn't much detailing apart from the tender. I'd say the tender is the most detailed part of the locomotive because that actually has stamped rivets on it. Now, mine is also missing the backup light, but that never operated directionally. Also, I'd like to state that I had to replace the tender wheels simply because they were just pitted and covered in carbon. I couldn't get it off, and there were actually holes in the wheels, which was making it run extremely rough. So now I'd like to talk about the drive. Now, this locomotive uses plastic gears with a open frame style motor. It's kind of hard to describe. I'd almost have to show it to you. However, I really have no desire to take this apart right now, and that's partly due to maintenance, which I will talk about later. So, painting. I think that this color scheme looks great. It's very beautiful, it's really imaginative, and even if it's not prototypical, it just looks good. How can you not like a paint scheme like this? It's simply beautiful, and if you have other Southern Pacific equipment, this will fit really well, even if it isn't perfectly prototypical. Now I'd like to talk about servicing the unit, and this is one thing that I'm not really a fan of regarding these RSO Pacifics. Over on the outer track, on the far end of my layout, right there is my Rivarossi 462 Crescent Limited Pacific steam locomotive. That one is superior in detail, running quality, blah 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 blah, but it doesn't matter because that one costs significantly more. We're looking at this unit, which I paid $18 for. Anyways, continuing on with the review. This one has a single screw underneath the lead truck, and then the entire boiler just kind of lifts off, and you have to slide it out from underneath the cab roof. Now, this wouldn't normally be a problem, as it's very easy to access the inside of the unit, but that's not the problem. There's a small plate underneath that hides the worm gear and drive mechanism, and that thing on top of reinserting the shell is incredibly irritating and difficult. That is a good 75% of the repair procedure. It's just putting the shell back on. So in terms of servicing, it's easy to take apart, it's easy to clean, but putting it back together is a whole different story. So now, let's talk about running qualities. As I've said before, mine is not the perfect example of RSO Pacific's running quality. My Pennsylvania runs better, but that one was also restored from a broken locomotive. So I can't vouch for how the running quality is when it's new. However, I do have a Mehano 260, which was made by the same company, and I have to say that one runs very well. It very much exceeds my expectations. However, that one has a can motor and has a very different drive. So this one I can't really vouch for entirely. However, I will tell you, aside from a jerky start and lacking low speed control, even my unit like this runs pretty well. Okay, so now we're zoomed out and I'm ready to start showing you the running qualities of the unit. Please pardon the mess all over my table. Like I said it several times, it's still under construction, so it's going to be pretty messy. I apologize for that. However, it won't really affect the review at all unless it's distracting. So anyways, I'm going to head over to my control station and we'll get started. Alright, so I apologize if my voice is a little too quiet, but anyways, we're going to go ahead and start it up. Whoops. I apologize, that is the wrong controller. So there we go. You can see that it has a rather lurchy start there. It just kind of jumps straight into speed, or jumps straight to speed. That's because the motor seems to have a bit of trouble starting up, and it's also because I wasn't actually able to clean the brushes when I did the motor restore. So anyways, let's back it up. As you can see, when it's at speed, it's actually it's pretty smooth and a reliable, quiet runner. Now you'll notice there's a bit of wobble, and I found that it's on my Pennsylvania Pacifc too, however, not nearly as bad. This doesn't really bother me much because when you put some weight behind it, the bumpiness kind of goes away. I think it's one of the drivers that's doing it, but other than that, I don't really have any complaints with the running qualities of the unit. So I'm going to go ahead and put it up to full speed and we'll have it come around here. Now the top speed of that unit is greatly reduced, especially due to the carbon buildup on the brushes. Well, there you go, now you can see it. So it's a good bit faster in reverse. That's what you have for the top speed. There we go, got it now. But anyways, so those are the running qualities of the engine, and it does smooth out a bit the more you run it. Like here we go, I'll back it up again. It's not nearly as bad a lurch, but now I'm going to try to get a little slow speed crawl out of it. So it isn't the worst thing ever. I'm going to come over and direct the camera as it comes around. So it's not like switching speed, but it's good enough where it's at least usable. Anyways, now I'm going to go ahead and cut back to eye level. We'll start the running action shots. So here we go. Okay, so here we are. We're back at eye level with the Southern Pacific. And right now I'm towing behind it my 4 Rivarossi 20th Century Limited New York Central passenger cars. Yeah, it's not the most perfectly prototypical, but who cares? I enjoy it, I think it looks good, and I also just really don't have any passenger cars that fit the locomotive. So anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.